Hi guys, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'll be showing you how I made the six pieces skirt. Easiest method on how to cut a six pieces skirt with an elastic band by the waist, the side of the waist. So let's go straight into the cutting of this skirt. So guys, this is the fabric I'll be using for this video, for this six pieces tutorial. So I have 3 yards of this fabric. So you can use 2.5, it will still be fine, but just that it will not be as full as what 3 yards will give you. So I'll be using 3 yards of this fabric. So what I'm going to do first of all, I'm going to fold it into two. You fold your fabric into two, but you make sure that one part of the fabric is longer than the other side with just 2 inches. I don't know if you can see it here. Can you see? So this is my fabric. This is it. It's on fold, the 3 yards. But one part will be longer than the other part with 2 inches. So with this, I'm going to open it. I'm going to slash it open at this side. I'll slash. So I'm going to take the longest part of the fabric, which is this one. Then I'm going to fold it into 3 equal parts. You know the front is going to be 3 piece. So this is it. I've succeeded in folding it into 3 equal parts. Then after doing this, I'm going to fold it into two again. I'll be using the widest part of my body for this tutorial, for this measurement, which is the hip, because this is a skirt. So when you're measuring a skirt, you use the widest part of your body, which is the hip. Then if it's for a blouse, the widest part of my body is my bust. There are some persons that the widest part is their waist. You fold according to this. But now the widest part of my body is my hip, which is 44 inches. So for this tutorial, I'm just going to add 8 inches to the circumference of my hip. So 8 inches plus 44 inches is going to give us 52 inches. This 8 inches is included with the joining allowances of each piece and the side allowance, the sewing allowance by the side. So with this, you are good to go. Just add 8 inches to any whatsoever your hip measurement is. You add 8 inches to it, then you start your division. So by adding 8 inches to 40 to 44, I have 52 inches. So I will divide that 52 inches by 6, because we have 6 pieces of this. We will cut 6 pieces to make the whole skirt. So 52 divided by 6 is going to give us 8.7. So that 8.7, remember when I folded this into 3 equal parts, I had to fold it into two. So it means that one piece of this skirt is going to be 8.7 inches. And now I folded it into two. So it's now unfold. So I will divide that 8.7 inches into two. Is going to give us 4.35. Let's just say 4.5. So that is what I will do. So at the waist measurement, I'm going to, first of all, take the length of my skirt. The length of my skirt is 42 plus half inch plus 1 inch hemming allowance at the down. So I'm going to use 43. The 42 is include my sewing allowance at the up. When I'm putting my band is included there. So remember, from my waist to where I want the shape to start, which is my knee point, and my knee point out, I came up by 4 inches. So from my waist to my knee point is 17 inches. So this is my 17 inches. So then for my waist to my hip is, I'm taking 8.5 inch. So I will impute it. You know, we're using the hip measurement. So what we have is 4.5. So I'll put 4.5 here. But by the time I come to my knee point, I'm going to subtract half inches from there. So here is going to be 4 inches to give us that curvy shape. Then the waist, I'm still going to put the 4.5. So that is what we'll do. My waist is not as big as this, but by the time I finish joining, I will shaping it when I'm cutting it. So from this point, I'm going to take my straight ruler and rule it down to this point. Together, first of all, from the waistline to the hip, I'll draw a straight line. Then from the hip, it's going to come here. So it depends on how curvy you want this area to be. If you want it if I want it curvier than the way it is, when I'm joining the sides together, I will correct it. But for now, this is what we have. Then I'll put my ruler here and I'll take it straight down to this part. So with this, by the time I cut this out, you will see that I have my three pieces for the front. So this is the front we are cutting. I'm going to cut it out. So you can see we have the three piece of our front. So this is what we have now. These are three piece for our front. So we're going to keep two outside and take one to cut the back. So coming to the back of this skirt, what we are going to do, we are going to fold it into two first. We'll cut the free. Remember, the center front is supposed to have the center back we have a zipper allowance. So I'll just fold this fabric into two. Can you see? I just fold it. I left an extra. That one is going to be for the center back. Then I'll open this thing. It's not going to be on fold again. So I'll open it wide. So this is what I have. So I'm going to use this to cut this out. Guys, I've succeeded in cutting the two sides of the back. This is what we have. So is we are now left with the center back. So this fabric, so with this remaining fabric, we are going to fold it into two parts. We are going to fold it into two because we are cutting the center back and it's going to have a zipper allowance. Then this one that is like my pattern for cutting, I'll fold it into two also. Then I'm going to place it on this one that is on fold, leaving a zipper allowance. So you can see how it is now. So this is placed on it. So this part here is my zipper allowance. So I have 1.5 inches as my zipper allowance. I'm going to cut this out now. So I'll notch this center so that I'll know where this is. So this is it. So this is our center back. So this is our center back. So I'll go to the sewing machine now and I'll sew this. Guys, this is the front part of the skirt. One, two, three, the pieces, and this is the back part. I've inserted the zipper. So if you notice, you know that you see that the waist and the hip is the same measurement from the beginning that I started, but we're going to shaping this when we're joining it by the side. Remember, I said this skirt is going to have elastic by the both side of the waist. So I'm not going to do it as the exact waist measurement, my exact waist measurement. I'm going to add like 2 or 3 inches to my waist measurement so that I can use the elastic to hold it to my waist measurement. And there's something I want to show you at the back part of this skirt. If you can see, remember I said my zipper allowance was 1.5 inches, but when I got to the 17, where I did from the 17, which is my knee circumference, I came in by half an inch. You can see this is my 1.5 inch here. Instead of coming straight, I just came by half an inch to give that same curve, and I slanted it downwards. So let's join this skirt together. So guys, this is my skirt. I've pinned it together, the back and the front. So I'm going to start taking the measurement now. My waist is 34. So I'm going to take 34 inches. Remember I said I'm not going to do it the exact measurement of my waist. So this is my 34 inches. I'm going to do it 37. I added 3 inches extra to my waist because I'll be using an elastic band. Then from this place, I'm going to take the hip measurement. My hip is 44. So I have 22 inches here. Then since my hip is 44, I want my knee circumference to be 40. So I'm going to place my tape here, and this is 40. is 40. So I'll check what I have. Yeah, 5 inches. Yeah, 2.5, 2 inches and 2 inches. So 5 inches divided by 2, we have 2.5. So I'm going to take 2.5 here. This is 2 inches divided by 2, which is 1 inch. Then this is 2 inches divided by 2, which is 1 inch. On both sides, I'll take same thing at this other part. 2.5 here, 8.5, 1 inch, 17, 1 inch. Then I'm going to connect the lines together. Then from this kneecap, I'm going to slant it to the tip. From this knee circumference, I'm going to slant it all the way. I'll do the same thing at this part. So I'll go now and join this. So guys, at this point, I'm going to trim out the excess at the waist. You can see I have excess at the waist part. So I'll just trim it out for it to be equal with this side. So it's equal now. You can see we didn't have excess at the waist. We just have like 1 inch and quarter because the extra, the 8 inch was added at each side. But because the same thing with the waist, so this is what we have. So at this point, I'm going to cut the lining. You can decide to cut your lining anyway. You can decide to cut it straight and throw it in, or you can decide to cut it pieces like the way we cut the Ankara. Then you sew it, then you put it in, or turn it with each other. But I want to cut it in this shape, just the way it is. Then I'll just throw it in. It's going to be a throw in lining. So this is what it is after joining. This is the down part. It's full. So I'll take the length of my lining, it's unfold. So I'll be using 36 inches for my lining. Then my waist is 34 divided by 2 divided by 4 divided by 2, 17, 17 divided by 2, 8.5. So this is the 8.5. Remember when I was joining the skirt, I added extra 3 inches. So let's just say 34 plus 3 inches, 37 inches. 37 inches divided by 2, we have 18.5. 18.5 divided by 2, we have 9 and quarter. 9 and quarter, then 1 inch for sewing allowance. Then for my waist, I came down 8 inches. My hip is 44 divided by 4, 11 inches. Then 1 inch for sewing allowance. Then for my waist to my knee point, 17 inches. I did that place as 40. 40 divided by 4, we have 10 plus 1 inch sewing allowance. Then I'll slant it down. So I'll cut this as right now and I'll use it to cut the back. So guys, this is me right here. I'm done sewing the side of the lining. That means joining the back of the lining to the front. We have formed a skirt, and the back, this is the zipper side. I've turned it with half an inch, the proper way it's supposed to be. So I'm going to turn this my skirt inside out, bringing the positive side, which is the right side of the skirt, outside.
So this is me doing that right now, you can see. Then after doing this, I'm just going to pick up my lining. I'm going to leave the lining the way it is, which is the wrong side. Then I'll open the zipper of my skirt because that is where the process will start from. Then I'll take this lining just the way you can see it on the screen. So I'm just going to take it and throw it in. This is what we call throwing in lining. So you can start to cut this lining straight. Then I'll pin this lining to one edge of the skirt. That is the zipper part of the lining. Although it's folded, I'm going to pin it to the zipper side of the main Ankara fabric skirt. So you can see by the time I finish doing this, to be covering the zip a bit, and I'm going to take the other end of the skirt and pin it also. Then after doing this, so the next step to do is to take this skirts to my sewing machine and I'll sew it all around. Okay, this is me. I'm done sewing it now. You can see how beautiful it's looking. You can see the shape the lining is looking like is a fish, like an A line or a fish or a mermaid shape. That is what I cut it. So usually this is how I cut my lining for my Ankara skirt. I don't cut it in pieces form, so I use cut like that. But when it's lace fabric, I do cut it in pieces form. So this is it. So the next thing we're going to do is to fix our bands to our skirts. The band is going to go in. The band is not adding to any measurement. So this is a 3 inches band, and the length of the band is the length of my waist, which is 37 inches. Zipper inclusive. Then this is the elastic I'll put in by the side of the waist. I have 6.5 inches each. Then next step is to open the zip before I start sewing my band to my skirt. And I'll come out with the band with half an inch, then fold it just the way you can see on the screen. Then I'm going to sew it with half an inch all round through the waist. So this is me after I finish sewing the band to the skirt, and this is what it looks like. This is what we have. So next is for me to pin my elastic band half the side of the skirt. So this is what I did, is that this from the center back, the joining by your left hand side, that is where the elastic is going. So where my hand is, that is where I placed one end of the elastic. Then I'll turn it to the front. Then the joining from the center front, the right side of the skirt from the center front, that is where the other ends of the elastic stop. You can see me touching it on the sky. You can see my pin were showing. Now I'm going to do same thing at the other side of the skirt, placing the other elastic. You know, I have two of it, so this is the pin. You can see I'm placing it at the left hand side of the front of the skirt. Then I'll take the extreme end of the elastic to the right hand side of the center of the back of the skirt. So after doing this, after I finish sewing this, first of all, I'm going to secure this elastic down to the skirt and remove the pin. I just use this pin for an illustration. Then after that, I'm going to go use this band I sew to turn the skirt, just like you see me doing with pins. So I'm going to turn it in with half an inch. I'm just using my pin to illustrate it before I start sewing it. So now I'm going to go secure the elastic band, the elastic now. So before I did that, I decided to hem the bottom of the skirt. So since it's a close end, so there's no need for double folding. So I just folded it once with 1 inch. So this is me. I'm done attaching, securing the elastic to the skirt with my sewing machine. So I'm going to close it now with a band. I'm going to cover it now with band. So this is me covering it with the band, the elastic with the band. So with half an inch, I'll cover this. So our elastic have a space to breathe, which is 2 inches, because I use half inch joining the band to the waist. So this is me. I'm done doing everything I have to do. You can see how neat and beautiful it is. This is the side of the waist with the elastic, and this is the zipper area. You can see how beautiful it is. So we are done with the skirt. I want to say a very big thank you to those of you that watched this video to the end. Please, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do where to subscribe, and I'll see you again in my next video. Until I come your way next time, I love you. Bye.